when we have kids, are we going to tell our kids that Santa's real or not real? You're going to wish you would have used this time and used it properly, because you're only going to have so many years in the holidays in your 20s or in your 30s.
Yeah. I think we should both be drinking
coffee.
Eggnog. Eggnog.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, he's going to go run and grab that. Welcome back to Happy and Healthy. Holly and Happy and Healthy.
A Holly good show.
I was trying to figure out like a phrase like a happy, healthy Holly. Merry, I'm struggling.
Welcome back to my wife's podcast, Happy and Healthy. And this is a jolly good podcast. This is
a jolly good show.
It's a jolly good show. We got the Christmas tree behind us. I hope this looks good.
Honestly,
on camera. I think it looks vibey.
I don't know how I feel about it. We'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments. We threw this together 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. We just wanted to set the scene. So if you're sitting down watching this podcast with your boyfriend or your best friend, or you're by yourself, go to the kitchen, go grab a hot chocolate, some warm milk or something warm, and get ready, because we are going to be, talking about our Christmas life and
what?
What are we talking about?
Okay, first of all, it's so funny. You always tell people to go get drinks. It's like he's trying to get y'all hydrated.
Because this is my thing. I feel like if I do anything, I gotta have a warm drink with me.
It's true.
No matter what, it just makes the experience so much better. If you can, grab your mug and feel the warmness tickle through your fingers, it sends. You just
feel like a better human being.
It sends a wave through the body that I feel like just enhances the experience amongst your
You're doing the most.
Yeah,
you're doing the most over here. Well, anyway, we hope you guys watch the YouTube, because if you do, you can see our festive
I think you
background.
can see it on Spotify too.
That's true. If you're an Apple listener, well, thank you anyway for listening. But if you want to watch Spotify and YouTube, let us know in the comments, do you like the background? Because we threw this together and we're like, okay, let's see how it goes.
And the reason why we need to know if you like it, because this is about to be a 4-part series. These next 4 podcasts are going to be focused around holiday topics. We'll range it from anything. We're going to give personal experiences. We're going to make it fun, but we want this to be festive and just,
And also to provide some advice, because we know that this month, December, which it is December 5th. So welcome to December, everybody. A holly jolly Merry Christmas to you. We know that this month revolves around a ton of different topics, from I would say like family drama, like finances,
gifts,
singleness, loneliness.
Holiday honeys, that holiday baddie you shouldn't be talking to, you know what I mean?
Should you bring this person to meet your family for Christmas or not? And we'll talk about when I brought Kaleb to my family's Christmas for the first time last year. So we'll be sharing some of our personal experiences. And we sat for a very long time and we were like, what should we name this series? I asked you guys on Instagram. I said I would give you a shout out if I picked yours. To be honest, guys, I'm so sorry. We didn't pick anybody's.
Yeah.
We made our own.
Yeah. So this is Christmas at the Wards.
Part 1.
Yeah.
And we're doing 4 episodes of this.
Real quick.
Yes.
Are we going to tell, are we, when we have kids, are we going to tell our kids that Santa's real or not real?
Wow, you're really getting into
this. I'm getting into it.
Well.
Because the red lipstick's giving me Miss Claw vibes right now.
Claw? Claws? What am I, White Claw?
Miss Claus vibes, not Claw vibes. That's funny.
I'm like, rah. Okay, that's actually funny because...
And this episode is sponsored by HelloFresh. Listen, guys, I'm a husband now. I got to stay looking happy and healthy. I got to stay in shape for my wife. That's why we are starting to use HelloFresh. You get pre-portioned ingredients, which is perfect for me because I'm not that great of a cook, and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip the long lines to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking fun, easy, and affordable. Also, I might add, it is romantic, which is why it's America's #1 meal kit. It's also 'tis the season for giving and gathering. With HelloFresh, it can also be the season of saving. Actually save money this month with fresh recipes delivered cheaper than takeout. And with pre-portioned ingredients, you'll never waste money on excess food. Also, spend your time this month shopping for gifts and sipping cocoa. Not stuck in the checkout line. Sign up for HelloFresh and get everything you need whipped up to a fresh, tasty meal delivered right to your door. Choose your recipes, select a delivery date, and relax knowing dinner is on the way. Guys, Jeanine and I are busy. We just got married. We got back from our honeymoon. We got this thing and that thing. Time is money. I said it before, which is why we are starting to use HelloFresh. It's also affordable, so it just makes sense. We really care about our health and fitness. And with the pre-portioned ingredients, everything is measured out. You know exactly what's coming into your food, what's not in your food. I'm a big guy when it comes to calories. I like to know what's in my food, what's not in my food. And so that's why we are starting to use HelloFresh. It makes it cooking so easy and fast, and we just love it. So go to HelloFresh.com/happyhealthyfree and use code happyhealthyfree for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/happyhealthyfree. Again, with code happyhealthyfree. Yeah, so thank you, HelloFresh, for sponsoring this podcast. We genuinely love you. And now back to the show.
One time, Kaleb and I were on a walk, was it 3 months ago? We were on a walk and we were like, should we do Santa Claus? Obviously, as Christians, there's such a debate between people whether we should do Santa Claus or not.
There's a debate about everything. Yeah. Listen, Christians are master debaters. Golly.
That sounded weird.
No, Christian.
Master debaters.
That's a little
sus, Kaleb.
That is the weirdest thing I've ever said in my life.
But you didn't know.
But it made sense. They're master debaters.
He got red over here. He's literally turning bright red.
That's insane.
That's insane.
Anyways, this is a Christian podcast.
This is a Christian podcast.
No, my point is Christians will freaking debate about, I mean, I do it too, but I think it's an important question. My parents did not tell me that Santa was real. At 5 years old, my bad. Yeah. At 5 years old, my dad came to me and was like, Santa Claus is not real. His thought process behind it was, why would I lie to my kid about Santa Claus? Because then he's going to ask, why, were you lying about Jesus too? Because if you think about it, Jesus Christ, dying and rising from the grave and coming back to life is like a wild story to tell.
Yeah.
And so Santa Claus, for a kid might not be too off, I don't know. The two stories, I'm not saying they're the same story, but I'm saying that,
that's the two people that are the heroes and the main characters of Christmas typically. So that's the common debate as a Christian is who gets the glory.
Yeah.
And that was actually what we were talking about, was that we were first of all, I know some people don't want their kids to get Santa Claus because they don't want their kids thinking that some random dude in the sky gave them the gifts versus the parents who have worked hard for the money to bless the children, And I think, so also for me, we did not do Santa Claus. That was a huge no-no. My parents definitely were very against it, especially my dad, because my dad basically wanted Christmas to be around Jesus, which I love and I'm totally, totally about. And so anytime that my friends would be like, oh yeah, Santa brought me a gift, I was always side-eyeing them because I'm like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
But Santa, I'll be honest with you, I don't think we'll do Santa Claus, but it looks fun.
It's kind of fun if you, I think it's cute when you're oh my gosh, leave Santa some cookies and some milk. It's something kind of mystical and fun for your kids to look forward to. But I also see that the reason why I also think it could be problematic is that you're telling your kids, oh, in order to get a gift, you have to be good. And if you're not good, it's kind of preaching a weird message in a way.
That's that work-based theology. I can't speak today. I don't know.
I don't know what we'll do yet.
If you're married and you listen to this podcast and you have kids, drop a comment. Do you tell your kids that Santa's real or not?
Yeah, let us know.
Or will you tell your kids that Santa's real or not? I think I'm leaning to the decision of not telling our kids that Santa's real.
I think the only thing that's kind of hard was, I don't even think we'll just not say, we'll obviously let them know, oh yeah, Santa's a thing, because they're going to see it. They're going to be like, who's Santa? Yeah. And obviously you can't watch any Christmas movie without Santa being in it.
I didn't believe Santa was real, but that didn't take away. I still loved Christmas. I still loved the Santa Claus movies, but it was kind of fun being a 5-6-year-old knowing something that these dumb kids don't know about.
Knowing the tea.
Oh my gosh. I used to walk into school and going you guys are pathetic losers.
You did not.
In kindergarten, I would walk in and just be like, yo, Christmas, I'm I'm going to go hang out with the parents because I know about the real news. That's Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Come on.
But I think it's funny because like a lot of people could look at Christians and be like, oh my gosh, you're no fun. You're boring. You're legalistic. You won't let your kids have any fun. And I'm like, no, we're going to have plenty of fun. Yeah. Like I want to decorate cookies and gingerbread houses. We'll see what we want to do about Santa Claus, but I think I'm leaning more towards nah. And I also think it's pretty heartbreaking for a kid when they get older and they find out he's not real.
What happens when our 16-year-old son wants to bring home a holiday honey for Christmas?
16-year-old?
Yeah, we're going to let our kid date and bring her home for the holidays?
Yeah, sure, why not?
We're going to let our kids date when they're 16 years old?
I mean, probably not. Because those relationships usually end and then they are like all heartbroken. And I'm like, you're too young to have your heart broken.
Yeah.
I also think, especially if the kid can't drive, there's no reason to. But then also I feel like when they do drive, they're up to nothing good.
Yeah, that was like my first kiss was like Christmas season.
Yeah, we're not letting our kids do it.
I used to, so I'm just going to be vulnerable and honest here. When I was in high school, I was a pretty good kid, but I wasn't perfect. I used to... You know, I'll just be honest with you.
What'd you do?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I would text girls and ask them if they want to be my holiday honey.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That sounds like you.
I think at the time Snapchat was a big deal. So I would like send like a photo and be like, you want to be my holiday honey?
I can literally picture you now doing that, like pointing at the camera because he always does this. I can just picture you being like, yo, and then your hair is all spiked up.
No one said yes.
Wow,
So,
that's embarrassing. How
yeah.
many did you text?
I think 2 or 3.
Wow, no takers, huh?
No takers.
Yikes.
No, it's not. I didn't realize now looking back, like girls aren't really about just a guy Snapchatting them saying you want to be my holiday honey. Yeah, it's not the most romantic thing in the entire
world. It's like you just went through your friends list and you're like, who can I send this to? And it's like a girl you haven't talked to in a year.
Well,
she's like, who's this?
One of my buddies from high school came out with a rap song on SoundCloud called Holiday Honey. And that became like a thing in our school where people would be like, who's your holiday honey? And
that's so funny.
It became like a thing.
So where was this leading to?
That's just the intro of the podcast. Let's get into it. What are we talking about today, Jeanine?
Okay, so first we want to just share a little bit of our backgrounds of our Christmases. And also this is our first married Christmas.
Yeah.
So we have to create our own traditions.
Oh, we will.
So first of all, let's start the camera over.
I like when I say a joke and you don't.
What do you mean?
You don't pick up on it.
What was the joke?
You said we're going to start our own Christmas traditions. And I said, oh, we will.
What does that mean?
It's whatever you want it to mean.
All I ever wanted. Okay, you're funny. My family.
This is so fun, by the way.
You like this episode?
Yeah.
It's just shooting the shishi. We're so stupid. You know what I feel like is missing from today's episode?
Music.
No. Well, it could be. I think we should both be drinking
coffee.
Eggnog. Eggnog.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, he's gonna go run and grab that.
That's so true.
While he's gone, I'm gonna talk to the people. Ladies, it's that time of the year where I know if you're single, you're lonely, and you're like, dang, it'd be really nice to decorate the tree with somebody. It'd be nice to hold hands with somebody by the lights, to get a little mistletoe kiss. I know. Believe me, I know. I have spent so many Christmases single. And it was depressing. Every dang year, I was the girl that never had somebody on Christmas with my family, and my sisters had their long-term boyfriends of 6+ years, and there I was, single as a freaking Christmas Pringle. I know it's depressing, but we're not going to let that bring us down. We are not going to compromise just because we're lonely. We are not just going to bring anybody, Mr. Billy Bob Thornton, to our house just because we want somebody. We'll get to that. But I know how it feels. I really, really do. And it's just not worth bringing a rando just because you want to bring somebody home to mom and dad. Mom and dad can wait. Ultimately, you know that mom and dad want you to be happy. And if this random dude that you met off of Hinge is just there to fill a void, ladies, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But if he does make you happy and he's a good, godly man, then by all means, bring him. But don't bring him if you are not serious. We'll talk about another episode. just wanted to chit chat. You know what I mean? All
right. We got the eggnog. Cheers.
Cheers. Okay. Also, question.
Oh, it's so
Some people strongly dislike eggnog. Like, I want to just talk to those people for a second.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Talk to him.
I'm just kidding.
No, it should be.
I love eggnog.
It should be looked into. You know, I think when you read the Old and New Testament, I think the Bible calls us directly to being people who, you know, do things we don't want to do. And if you don't like eggnog, I worry. This goes into like a lot of my bold takes. I worry if you don't like eggnog.
You're about to say a bold claim.
I don't know if
here.
I want to say this. Should I say it?
Yeah.
If you don't like eggnog, you probably have a lot of bitterness and resentment towards just like fun and like good, like just being a good person overall. I don't know.
Yeah. That seems like a good correlation.
I don't know. I just like it's sweet. It's good. It's good for your heart. It's good for your soul. And
it's definitely a lot of calories.
I feel like you've been hurt before.
Who?
If you don't like eggnog, you've been hurt before.
Haven't we all though?
Probably.
Yeah, we've all been hurt.
This is
we love eggnog, but this was a family tradition for my family. Like, we would never go a single Christmas without drinking this.
It reminds me of Christmas Vacation, which that's another conversation.
Oh, I don't want to spoil that.
Christmas movies. Are you big Christmas movie girl?
Oh yeah, but I'm very picky. I don't like.
Don't say it.
The cheesy
Elf.
Animated. I don't know. I'm more like a Home Alone, Home for the Holidays kind of gal.
Like
I don't
Elf?
like anything that feels cheesy.
Do you like Elf?
I like it, but it's overdone. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was a low blow. I like it, but it's not my top 5.
Yeah.
I'm a Home Alone Part 1, Part 2. There's so many I love, but
I just love Christmas movies.
I love Christmas.
It's actually, I think it's something we should talk about is when Christmas is over, I feel like I get this level of depression. I don't really struggle with depression, but January 1st is like a hard day for me.
I mean, I think most Americans, actually no, I think most people feel that way because it's like you're looking forward to this month for so long. You decorate, there's so much holiday cheer, and then January 1st rolls around, and then you're like, now what do I do?
Do you
what
feel
do
like
I do with my life?
I read a study that it said that December, although it's like supposed to be the greatest month, it's also like the highest number. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this, but I think it's like the highest level of like suicide and like mental health problems is like sadness is like reportedly like goes up during the Christmas time.
As much as I wish that wasn't true, I could see why that is, which is why we're going to do this series, because we realize that there's a lot of difficult things that happen during the holidays, especially maybe you've lost a parent or you recently got broken up with, or you moved recently and you don't have anybody. Like, there's so many things surrounding this. It's like you see this picture perfect thing on Hallmark Channel and you're like, oh man, I want that. And you have this expectation in your mind. And then sometimes it just doesn't hit.
Yeah.
I've had so many Christmases where I was highly disappointed.
You know, you were my first girl that was ever in my life that I was with during Christmas. I was always single during Christmas. And I don't know if this resonates with some people, but Christmas low-key sucked for me most years because it was always just me and Christmas movies by myself. You know,
you had your family
and my family, but when you're single and all your family is, in relationships or all your friends are in relationships, you're going with your girlfriend to see Christmas lights or you get to enjoy all the fun festivities when you're in a relationship. But when you're single, it can be very, very difficult.
Well, that's why everyone makes that joke, like, it's cuffing season.
Yeah.
Because
it's cuffing season. Tell all the boys
be meeting. I need a big boy. This is the time when you're like, man, I got to cuff someone up because I need to go on that Christmas light carriage ride through Highland Park and have a holy honey there next to me in a blankie. Yeah. But like, I don't know. Well, that's another episode. We'll talk about relationships in another one. Okay. Let's go back to our Christmases and then the first time that I brought you to my Christmas and vice versa. Okay, so really, really fast. My family background is because my dad's German, we did Christmas on Christmas Eve. So it was actually really depressing because I would wake up on the 25th and we would literally do nothing. It was kind of sad.
Really?
Versus the American one, I remember everyone would wake up at like 8 a.m., run down the stairs like you see in the movies.
Yeah.
They open the gifts. Everyone's got their matching Christmas PJs. No, mine literally was nothing.
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of sad.
So you woke up on Christmas Day every year and nothing was
It was pretty
happening?
sad. Yeah, we did nothing.
Really? What did you
Yeah.
do on Christmas Eve?
Every year we did a massive Christmas dinner. We got all the candles. We listened to the Messiah.
Your Christmas didn't start till Christmas evening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or what we would do is we would do a really big Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve. We would all drink eggnog, sparkling cider. We would go around, we'd pray, we'd read the Bible, and we would open up one gift. Then Christmas night, then you could open your gifts, but we would have to wait all the way till Christmas night. I don't know.
What kind of gift is a 16-year-old Jeanine Amapola getting?
I didn't get anything really.
Okay.
I didn't get very many gifts. There was some years where we would get a lot, especially with my family being so big. Like there was one year that we were like, we're full sending this. And everyone bought everyone a gift. And so you can imagine 9 people buying everyone a gift. It was a massive gift pile.
I want to make sure that people don't hear what she's saying. And her dad and her mom they're the best.
Yeah.
There was just 7 of them. There was a ton.
Yeah. And finances were tight some years.
Yeah.
You know, and also being like a 10-year-old, like how can you afford a gift, you know?
Sure. Did you know at the time when you were that age that you didn't have much, or were you just like a kid and you didn't really know anything different? Or was it hard for you?
I think I knew. Plus, I think there's 2 things that were going on. Okay, first of all, not every year it was like that. There were some years where my family was like, okay, we're going all out if the finances were doing well that year. And then some years we were all like, we just can't afford it.
Yeah.
And I was very aware that there were years where the money was just tight. And then there were some years where like, I think my parents just kind of were like, we want our kids to know that it's not only about the gifts.
Yeah.
And so there were some years where we all just decided we're just not going to do gifts, which honestly was kind of sad for me because I like wanted that. I really, really wanted that. And then, but it also did train me to remember that, okay, it isn't only about gifts, but it's hard when you're a kid. Like you want those gifts,
For
you know?
sure.
Like you see I remember my best friend Cammie would come like run into our house and she'd be like, I got a new bike and a new video game. And she'd be like, what'd you get? And I was like, a sock.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
yeah, man, but what's crazy is like your family, a lot of the families who have all the gifts, they have all the money or the, experience. They go on the Christmas trip and it'd be easy to be like, man, you feel like you're missing out. You feel like, oh, that's not fair. And then you look inside those families and a lot of the times they have the most, problems and they're not as close as what it looks like.
yeah.
And most of the kids, they get those gifts and then they don't play with them the next day. But it's so awesome that your dad pointed everything still back to Jesus, still back to what's the reason of why we're doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm sure him being from Germany and your mom being from Guatemala, there was probably this sense of like, man, it sounds like they were just like really grateful to be in the position that they were in here in America. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I don't know.
No, I don't look back and like resent it by any means. I definitely think it made me appreciate Christmas more, and B, it was something that I think honestly, like I it's so sad. I didn't really look forward to Christmas as a kid because I wanted the traditional American Christmas that I would see in the movies, and we never had that. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, my family would get a Christmas tree like 2 days before Christmas because that's when the price dropped.
Yeah.
And so we'd be like, okay, those Christmas trees are like $50. Let's go get them.
Wow.
And so I think that's why I'm so big on Christmas now, is because I'm older and I get to create traditions for myself. And that's why like I really want us to create our married traditions and create traditions for our kids. But I also always want Jesus to be the center of it.
That's so real. Like, first of all, thank you. A lot of that you're just saying, I feel like you've told me that before, but it's been a while, so I think I just even forgot. But that's just like really vulnerable, and I think there would even be. I just think it's awesome that you even shared that, because I think there's probably a little bit of yourself that doesn't want to make your family look bad, but it's like it's the reality of what happened and something that you went through, and it's just I
was just saying, I wouldn't want my parents to like listen to this and be disappointed and like, oh, she was mad at us or resents us. Like that is not what I'm saying. you know, at the time too, like I understood that there were times when like money was just tough and like we just couldn't do it. And it was so fun still. Every year, like I said, we would create this really cozy, warm environment in our dining room. We would eat quail, we would light the candles, we'd pray together. I looked forward to that every year.
I'm like jealous of that.
Like I loved that
Yeah.
every Christmas Eve. And we listened to the Messiah. We would go to
so
the
cool.
Messiah. We look at Christmas lights. Like I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it is fun now when you're older, you get to create your own traditions.
Sure.
It's hard to expect an American Christmas from non-American people. And so I think it's hard again when like you're seeing your friends have a certain type of Christmas and you're like, okay, I want that. And then you're like trying to put these unspoken expectations on your parents to give you that. And then that's just not even in them. Like my parents had a German Christmas and a Guatemalan Christmas, and those are different. Like also what we did instead was like every Christmas we would make tamales with my mom, and my grandma would come in town sometimes. And that was like a Christmas tradition that we would do. Or my dad, like those were different traditions that we did. So now it's for me, like trying to find a blend of like all three cultures. And I think that's really, really fun. Like I'm really appreciative of that because I do think that in today's society, it is promoting a ton of materialism and overconsumption. And it's again, what you were saying, like a lot of gifts that these kids get, and then they don't end up appreciating all of them because there's so many and they're all super expensive. And it's like, how can we as human beings fully appreciate if we get these like super elaborate gifts all in one day, you know?
Yeah.
And like, obviously as a kid, I was jealous. Like I wanted that. But now looking back, I'm like, oh, I think it made me appreciative of like smaller things in life, you know?
Yeah. Wow. Thanks for sharing, babe.
Thanks for
That's
listening.
real. That's some real stuff. And I can't even imagine as a kid that comparison game you're playing in your mind. But I would almost say from now, it's like, what a cool thing. Like what kids are getting to make tamales with their mom and eat quail on Christmas. And, you know, it's just different. It's a different experience. But I'm sure now it's like, I wish you could go back and like put yourself in that place. And I don't think you would trade it.
I wouldn't.
Even
No.
for a second.
No, because it really bonded my family. And like, I do remember one year specifically, it was like literally the best year. We decided to go all out for gifts. And that was the year when I was like obsessed with Barbies. And I opened up like 3 Barbies and I'm like screaming, jumping upside down, jumping up and down.
Yeah.
I got a mermaid Barbie. And I remember just being like so excited that year. It was like the best Christmas ever. And like, so no, I don't look back and I'm like mad at my childhood or anything like that. Like those are the things that form you into who you are today. And so this isn't like a woe is me. It's just like sharing a little bit more of my background.
Yeah. My Christmas.
Yes.
My Christmas was about as Hallmark as I feel like it gets. We were a big Thanksgiving family, big Christmas family. I grew up on 73 acres, and so we had a lot of land. I lived in like a farm town, basically, 500 people, 1 gas station. It was a very hillbilly like town, and so it was so fun. Like all my cousins, I had like, 15, 20 cousins, all my aunts, uncles, cousins. I said cousins 5 times, but everyone would come over for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so there would be like 40 of us at a house. And every single Christmas, all my cousins would get together. We had like our front yard was probably like, 5 acres. And so it was like a flat piece of land. And we put like football pylons and we played football all Christmas. And so that's like when I think back to Christmas, I think of football. I think of just being with my family and everyone's over. And then we were very traditional. Every year we'd watch Christmas Vacation. We would watch Elf, watch Home Alone. My mom would make popcorn. It was like the good classic family Americano Christmas. The gifts were pretty dope. My dad's biggest love language is like gifts.
Yeah. Still to this day.
If my dad made $60,000 a year, he'd want to give 59 of it. Like that's just who he is. My dad grew up, a little less fortunate. And so when he got older, his biggest thing was like, man, I really want to give my kids a childhood and a life that I didn't get. Which, probably spoiled us a little too much growing up. I would say a little bit. But it was so cool just being waking up Christmas morning, we would wake up at 8 a.m. And my mom would be making biscuits and eggs. And
so you had the traditional Christmas, about as traditional as it gets.
It was everything. I looked forward to it every year. Like, it was such a freaking blast. I mean, we'd had Christmas music like banging around the house 24/7. But I was a big, like, I love sports. So I'd be outside with my dad playing basketball every single night during Christmas season, playing football outside with my cousins. And so the girls would be inside, cooking, chit-chatting, making the Christmas cookies. And all of us guys, all the uncles would be outside playing football. And one year we got snowed in. And so the whole family stayed at the house. Like, all 40 of us slept in one house. That was like one of the coolest Christmas memories. And we had, four-wheelers and dirt bikes, and my cousins would bring their dirt bikes over because we had like a bunch of land that we would go through. And so, yeah, I was like a little farm boy, like, in a weird way growing up. And we, just used our property as a way to come together as one big family. It's made me appreciate more about, like, man, at the end of the day, Christmas is really just about being with your family. And
so true.
The conversations, and not really what you get, but, just being with everybody.
I think that's genuinely such a good point because, and thanks for sharing, Bus.
Mm-hmm. I never wanted the podcast for us to talk about our past or anything our parents, and never make our parents look bad.
Yeah.
Because we have the greatest parents.
Yeah, we're really thankful.
Like, we're so thankful.
And they worked so hard and did so much for us.
Yeah.
That I'm like, oh gosh, I would never want my parents to be like, well, unappreciative little brat. And I'm like,
same.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, same.
But it is so true. Like, ultimately, when I do think back on memories, it was always like those moments where we were gathered together. Like, that's what holidays are about, is like gathering with your people. And like, even when we went to Montana for Christmas, like, what's so funny even with my family is now that the kids are older, like, we've taken initiative to start creating traditions. And so it's kind of cool because, like, my parents are just not really big like planners in that sense, and so the kids have kind of stepped up where we're like, okay, hey, we're gonna go here for Christmas.
Where are we going next week?
We're going to Alaska next week.
Going to Alaska.
So because my family is all over the United States, we now meet up in one spot. And so the last couple of years we've traveled. We did Seattle, Montana, Austin, and now we're doing Alaska this year. And so it's been really cool. But ultimately, like, we always now plan fun things like ice skating. And like, the kids are the ones that are leaders of it. My parents are more like, we're hanging back, we're relaxing. But like, my favorite nights are when we're sitting by the fire, we're drinking eggnog, we're just chit-chatting, we're like getting to know each other better. Like, it really is about people and the conversations and encouraging each other and blessing one another, and like Jesus being the center of that. And I think my parents really did a good job of instilling that in us.
So I'm going to take that and say this. So whatever you're going through, whether your Christmas is lonely, whether your Christmas is the best Christmas, whether your Christmas is filled of Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Prada, or your Christmas is filled of just, food and good conversations, you got to find a way somehow, in some way, to look at your Christmas and figure out, what can I be grateful for? What can I be thankful for in this season? And who can I maybe bless, or someone always has it worse. Because I guarantee you, you could be a person who maybe doesn't have much for Christmas or Thanksgiving or the holiday season. And you might be comparing your life to somebody who's getting Louis Vuitton, getting Prada, living the Highland Park lifestyle that you want for Christmas. But you're not taking a look at what's going on in the scene and in their life. And it's like, be careful comparing yourself or someone else's holiday life to yours, because I guarantee you, people are going through a lot more than what you know. And be careful, because you might have something so beautiful. You might have the best family, and I bet you that person might trade their Christmas because their Christmas is full of their dad and being an alcoholic and abusive and this and that, and you have something to be grateful for, and your family loves each other, or you know what I mean? Like, you can find a way to look at your life and maybe just find a way to be grateful for the season that you're in, because you might not have it forever.
Well, it's so true. And Christmas goes by so fast. And it's like, you don't want to look back on those memories and be like, man, I was such a grump. I was so ungrateful, or just full of jealousy and comparison. It's so true though. Like with anything in life, like you have to look internally and in turn into what you do have of like, what am I thankful for? Like, I'm thankful I have 2 friends by my side. I'm thankful that I have still my grandma alive, or I'm thankful that like, you just got to find those ways. And then also like give that back, because that is what the season really is about, is giving and blessing people and sharing the hope and the good news of Jesus, and hopefully cheering some people up. And that's what's important.
If you have 2 friends, or maybe you're married, it doesn't matter your situation. But let's say you're sad and it's the holiday season. Let's get up. Let's make a plan. Get your friends around you. Like, hey, we're gonna bake a pizza tonight. We're gonna make Christmas cookies. We're gonna watch a Christmas movie. Like, figure out a way to allow these experiences to come to fruition. Build these memories, because 10 years from now, you don't want to look back and like think, oh man, in my 20s, I was just lonely and depressed because I was single. You know, you're gonna wish you would have used this time and used it properly, because you're only gonna have so many years in the holidays in your 20s or in your 30s.
Yeah, that's so true.
You know our story. We got back together in early November of.
Oh yeah, right before the holidays.
Right before the holidays, and so I had never met her family yet.
Oh yeah.
And so she was like, "You got to meet with my dad, and then you can go to our family Christmas." And so I met with her dad at a breakfast spot here in Dallas, and ended up being really, really good. We hit it off, and ended up going to your family Christmas in Austin.
Which was a big deal.
Which was nuts, because
big deal for me.
I drove out there, and you had already been there for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And guys, you know, we were 4 months into dating, and you're still in that new phase where you're still
so new.
You're still nervous. You know, Jeanine's like with her family, and this is the first time she'd been with her family and not in Dallas with me. And, you know, she's texting me a little different. She's being a little shorter. I started to get kind of nervous, like a week.
Really?
Yeah. Like right before I was coming to Christmas, I thought Jeanine was like in her head again about the relationship. And, I remember saying, I love you over the phone. You were at Christmas with your family, and I told you I loved you, and you didn't say it back.
You said that over the phone?
I said, I love you. And then we were already saying I love you at this point. And
I didn't say it back.
And you didn't say it back, and you hung up. And I called you back. And this is such a
middle school.
No, it's you're early on the relationship, and I got mad at myself that I did this, but I called her back and I said, you didn't say I love you back, which is such a, don't do that, because when you're early on, you can spook somebody when you do that. But it made me so mad that you didn't say I love you back.
And I don't even think I purposely did that.
You were in front of your dad or your family. That's why you didn't say it back. Oh,
that's funny. Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
I remember though that Christmas, because like to me, bringing someone home for Christmas is like a big deal. Like I'm not just bringing anybody, a little Frilly Willy to my Christmas. Frilly Willy to my Christmas.
Yeah.
And I saw that as a big deal. And I remember we were, 4 months dating, and I was like, okay, like this is a big step. And I remember telling you, like, I prepared you for all my siblings. I'm like, this is what Adine's going to say. This is what Celestin's going to ask you. This is what my mom's going to ask you. Prepared you as best as I could, because our house is pretty chaotic, especially with now in-laws coming in. There's 6 children. Like it's a busy season.
It's probably a total like 20 people.
Yeah. In one house. So I tried to prepare you as best as possible, because I was like, you're about to enter into some chaos.
So I show up, and I'm nervous. I'm a little under the weather.
I remember, yeah.
I walk in, and I mean, all her family's just like, granted, I've only met her dad. All her family is just sitting in the dining room area, and I walk in, and everyone just like staring at me. And from that point forward to the next 3 days, it was one-on-one conversations with every single person. Why do you love Jeanine? What is it special about Jeanine? How are you going to provide for her? How are you going to, everyone was amazing, but the level of like communication, and guys, I'm trying to enjoy my Christmas a little bit,
but you had to know.
I want to have fun, and ended up being great, but it was just like you get tired. You get burnt out of that. I'm an half introvert, half extrovert, and the introvert side comes out. And after a certain point, I was just like, I remember feeling like, man, I'm depleted. Like I can't have one more intentional conversation about why I'm not going to break your heart. There's only so much of that you can say.
Well, totally.
Tell me your story.
It's just like eventually exhausting when you just constantly have people being like okay, so tell me about this and what about this and why do you like her? And you're like, can we just have like a lighthearted conversation anymore? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, again, my family had just seen me, you know, go get my heart broken. And so they're like, okay, is this guy serious about her? Like, they're just like really trying to make sure. And my family isn't intense. They just like really wanted to know who he was because this was their first time meeting him.
And we had just broken up.
And we had broken up 3 weeks. When was it? 2 weeks
a month
prior or something. And so they were
a
like,
month and a half prior.
So I think everyone was just kind of like, okay, like what's the sitch?
Yeah.
And of course, when you have that many siblings that are just like protective over you, you're the baby of the family. They were just,
You know, the hardest part, because my family is like, okay, food's at 12, it's at 12.
Oh,
this is at my family goes to bed at 9 or 10 p.m.
Not my
11.
family.
So and they wait, and then your family also goes to bed late and they wake up early.
Well, because there's kids in the family, but
that's what was hardest for me was there was a lot of waiting around. So I was finding myself, you know, dinner was served at like 9 p.m. or 10 p.m.
Yep.
And I'm like starving and I'm like, when is golly, this is different. And then I remember one night we literally were up till 3:45 in the morning.
We were
talking about Jesus, talking about life.
Oh yeah.
And which was great, which was so fun. But I'm already, you know, doing the math. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get 2.5 hours of sleep. I'm also sick. Like internally, no one knew that whole weekend I was chugging NyQuil every night. Like I was struggling.
And Anthony was sick too. I remember.
Yeah. And so it just was like, wow, this is different, but this is awesome.
My family is so non-traditional, and that's why I think like I've tried to create routines into like our life and like order because it's so true. Like literally, y'all, we would not eat dinner sometimes till 11 p.m. If you have a Latina family, you know this is how it goes. It's like you're falling asleep as you're sticking chicken in your mouth because you're so tired.
Yeah.
I remember like we'd be eating dinner and I'd literally be like bobbing my head like about to sleep.
After dinner, one of the nights, because it was one of the kids' birthdays, it was like
Matthew's
11:30.
Yeah.
And your sister was like, okay, we're going to do a birthday celebration now for Matthew or whatever. And I remember thinking, oh no. I'm ready to put my AirPods in and go to sleep and listen to a podcast and go to bed. And we did these like minute to win it games.
That was so fun though.
It was fun, but it was late. And I was sick. And I remember I sat down in the corner and wasn't participating much. And you got mad at me.
Because I was like, okay, this is also the problem when you're bringing someone home for the holidays and it's like the first time they're meeting your person. It's like you want them to have the best impression of your partner. And so in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, like participate. Like my sister spent hours working on these games. And that's why we did them. It was the last night and my sisters had ordered all this stuff, spent hours setting it up. And even though it was so late, we were like, we are playing these dang games. And so when you sat down, I'm like, make sure you played the game. Cause like, I didn't want my sisters thinking you like didn't like them or something.
And I'm a competitive person. I don't do well in like manufactured settings.
Oh yeah. He
fun.
Hates fake fun.
Yeah. I like three things. I like football, I like basketball, and I like pickleball. Mm-hmm. Those are like three sports that I love. I don't really like, okay, let's pull these tissue boxes out and who is the last person to pull the tissue box loses. Those type of games, I just really don't like. It feels like, it feels manufactured. It feels like I'm on a cruise and we're trying to, time is, we got to waste time a little bit.
Which is actually funny because on our honeymoon, they do games every day. And it would be like multiple games. And every time they'd be like, who wants to play? My arm would just shoot up. I'm like, me. I'm like a 5-year-old at heart. And Caleb's like, these manufactured fun games. And it would be like these little quiz games. And I would just be like on the edge of the pool, like trying to chime in any second I could. And you were just not having it.
I've been like that since I was 5.
Which is crazy.
Like I remember a PE class growing up. And I was the most competitive kid. I'd be like, this game is dumb. Who created this game?
But the thing is, our competitiveness is in different ways. Like you're more competitive in like actual sports. I get competitive at like board games and Super Smash Bros. Like, because that's what I played growing up. I didn't play like actual sports.
Yeah. How did I do? So I think this is one of the parts of the podcast we're talking about, bringing the boyfriend or girlfriend to the house,
to your family.
How did I do? That's the first question. How did I do? And what advice do you have to people who are bringing their significant other to the home for the holidays?
Okay, one, you crushed it, because it's so funny. Like, even at our rehearsal dinner, that was the day or the weekend that my family remembered the most, because you came in, and even though I know it was exhausting, because you went and talked to every family member, there's a lot of them. So he went and talked to every family member. And then also on top of that, you brought everybody a Christmas gift. And no one was really doing gifts that year. And so
your dad told me not to bring gifts too.
Yeah, my dad specifically was like, we're not doing gifts. He went anyway behind my daddy's back and got everyone gifts. And my family, like, oh my gosh, thriving. They were so excited.
Do you remember what I got your dad?
A wallet? Oh yeah, a book.
No. Well, I got him a book, but I bought her dad a knife, and I engraved his his name and birthday on it.
Yeah, that was so cool. And I think those are the moments that, like, you could be lacking intentionality, but you went anyway. And people really appreciated that. Like, I remember them being like, wow, you did not have to do that, and you did it anyway.
I remember feeling embarrassed, like, oh, this feels weird. Like, but I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they really liked that. And I also think why people liked you, and you've always been this way, you weren't trying to, like, prove yourself. Like, you just went in there.
I was myself.
You were yourself. You weren't going to try to fake it. You weren't going to try to just tell them what they wanted to hear. Like,
I think you
were yourself.
I got involved in your family drama a little bit too.
Oh, that's true. And I got involved in your family drama recently.
Yeah.
That was actually funny. So he came to the Christmas, and like, my family's also not one to pretend like everything's like, we're not like this, like, perfect picture, white picket fence kind of family. We got into some discussions, and Kaleb was there, and he started saying things, and I was like, whoa, buddy, you've been here for a day. But he showed his confidence, and everyone was like, who does this guy think he is? But I actually think they kind of liked it.
I went in, and maybe you're the significant other that's like going to or maybe you're married and you haven't spent a lot of Christmases with the other side of the family. You have nothing to lose. You have nothing. Just be yourself, and enjoy it. Ask questions.
Yeah, I was going to give some advice.
Get to know people,
I think that's so important. That's what you did, is because you asked me, like, what would my advice be? But I would make sure, like, show up and be very respectful, like, bring the mom a gift, write her like a thank you letter for hosting or cooking, offer to help cooking, offer to help clean, and honestly, just like do things without even people asking you. Like, don't be the person that just shows up and they kick their feet up, and then like the mom's having to clean your dishes after you, and she's having to ask you like, hey, can you help? Like, take initiative. Like, how can I help you? Can I help cook? Can I help clean? Sit down with the parents, because I think it matters so much to the mom and dad to be like, tell me your story, or here's why I love your daughter or your son. And just showing that you care and being intentional matters so, so much. Like, don't just like show up and be passive and take the back seat and just wait for them to pursue you. Like, the parents are looking for you to step up and say, okay, this is why I love your daughter. This is who I am,
I got one big one.
Ooh, let's
do the dishes. Whether you're a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a wife or husband, when the food is over, go help. Go take the trash out. People see that.
Yeah.
That's a huge one. I also think another big one, and we could talk about this a little bit, is political differences. Like, if your significant other's family is Democrat, or they're Republican, and they are die hard. Don't go into these situations and try to ruffle feathers.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing you can do. Especially if you see your father-in-law or mother-in-law start talking about an issue they care about, and you don't have the equity
or the knowledge maybe to speak on the topic.
Knowledge. Just pick your battles. Like, and it's okay to not everything has to be this, like, there's nothing worse when you're talking about something and you look over and this other person doesn't agree with you, and they're making faces or they're rolling their eyes, or everyone can feel that elephant in the room.
Yeah.
So just try to just be respectful of the mother-in-law and the father-in-law, of their beliefs, whether it be this way or that way. And don't try to ruffle feathers. It's just not the place, because you will ruin it for everybody else.
Plus, I also think like, especially if you're new, like you just don't have, what you said, the word equity. Like you don't have the equity to go in there and try to be like, well, this is what I think. And no, according to this statistic. And it's like, okay, chill out.
Okay, Sarah.
Sarah, you. Yeah, that's probably a good point. And also,
know your audience,
Yeah, and I just think to like read the room and the timing of your relationship or the temperature of the room. Like, where are you? Like, do you feel like this is appropriate to speak about whatever you're speaking about? And just be like really respectful, but also don't be fake. Like, be yourself. I think ultimately people want to just know who are you.
I think that's so true, and I feel like we're covering a lot. I hope we are speaking. I think that's the thing we want to do with this podcast. We want to speak. We don't want to come in here and just like focus on one topic. We want to talk a lot about our lives, and then being able to you know what I mean?
Totally. I also don't know what that meant. That meant literally nothing at all. Sometimes you'd be doing that.
You gotta help me out, dude.
Honestly, babe,
I'll be starting to
be honest, babe,
no idea
I literally was. I was in a different planet a second ago.
I know.
Like you were talking and my eyes were glazed over because I was thinking about something completely unrelated.
What were you thinking about?
I was thinking about, for some reason, when I was at your family's Christmas for the first time.
Yeah.
So it was funny when I first met his family. I was expecting, like, I had my boxing gloves on. Like, I was like, I'm ready to defend myself. They didn't ask me, like, anything pressing. They were not like, so who are you and why do you love our son? Besides, when we went to your dad's dinner, your dad or your sister said something like, why are you dating my brother? Like, oh, does it bother you that he's 4 years younger than you? And I was like, whoa, I just met you, Tay Tay.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was good. But that was like the hardest question I got the entire weekend.
My family didn't ask her much questions about. My family doesn't want to be that family who brings the shotgun in and is trying to. They want to organically pursue a relationship with you and not try to scare you off in the beginning. And I think so Jeanine was the first girl I had ever brought home for a holiday.
Crazy.
And so they knew that must have been a real deal, and they also didn't want to screw it up. And I think they were also nervous to meet you.
Yeah.
And so I think that there was that, and now it's so cool. Like you're so tight with a lot of them now.
Yeah, and I'm like genuinely looking forward to like both of our Christmases because they're coming up. And it's so cool, like being a part of the family. And your family, though, is way bigger on gifts than mine.
Yeah.
Because I think what was so crazy for me, and I didn't almost feel like I deserved this yet. I was so new in the relationship, and I came to his parents' house or his mom's house and then his dad's, but they had both gotten me like the best presents.
Almost
like,
too many gifts.
Like your family is so generous. Like I was like, whoa, I did not expect this. Like, was it Burberry perfume? His dad got me Apple AirPods. I was like, I don't even know you, Curtis. Like, Curtis.
And I told him not to get you AirPods. I was like, Jeanine already has enough AirPods. And
it was so sweet of him.
He got your AirPods, which was hilarious.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. But again, that's just the difference is like my family's not like super, super big on gifts, and your family, like, you guys love it.
Yeah, we do.
And so but it's really cool blending the two, like to see how maybe my culture will blend in with your family culture.
Love that we talked about this. What's some like holiday tea?
I hate most Christmas music. I know.
What?
And I also do not like Mariah Carey. I don't like the All I Want for Christmas Is You.
What'd you say, Mariah?
Mariah Carey.
Mariah.
Cannot stand that song. And I think, I'm sorry, that was my hot take. When I hear that song, I literally want to throw my phone across the room.
Christmas is you.
I can't.
Yeah, that's not my
It's
favorite.
a rough song.
It reminds me of Nick Cannon every time.
Well, it's just that, like, I've heard that song 30,000 times.
Yeah. It's like right when you walk into Macy's, it's playing.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah.
So that's one of my holiday hot takes. I also think that some people just be doing too much.
Too much?
Too much decor, too much. It's just,
Babe, look behind us.
I know, but like sometimes I'm like people start decorating like October 1st. And I'm like, slow down. You got too much pep in your step right now. Is there anything that you think is like super cheesy that you're just not about?
For Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gifts. I think everyone should open up a gift on Christmas Eve. I think, okay, there's my hot take. I think Christmas Eve is better than Christmas.
Why is that?
I just like the vibes of Christmas Eve better. It's like you're getting Christmas because everyone usually gets off work on Christmas Eve anyway. And it's like not Christmas yet. Like I really don't like Christmas movies on Christmas because I feel like once Christmas is there, it's kind of over. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like Christmas Eve because it was like those Christmas services with all the candles.
Yeah.
I love that.
Dude, those are fun.
Yeah, you know what songs I don't like?
What?
Like, I don't really like the whole songs about Santa Claus. Like, I don't really want...
Santa Claus is coming.
Yeah, see, I don't really like that song. I don't really like I saw mommy kissing Santa Claus. Like, I more prefer, like...
What? Do you know what I know?
Do you know what I know?
A little lamb. Do you see what I see? That sounded kind of good.
That's more your octave, babe.
What's the drummer boy or the train one?
Justin Bieber?
No. What's the train one?
I don't know.
No, it's drummer boy.
Do you like...
How does drummer boy start?
I don't know.
Bum ba bum bum. Come on, you know what
all
drummer.
the little lads. I have no idea.
Drummer boy. I'm trying to remember how it starts.
Do you see what?
Do you see what I see?
Stop. Now we're just annoying them.
Hear what I hear.
Yeah, okay. This is my hot take. And this is just because, again, I think it's probably how my dad raised me. We didn't watch like Disney Christmas stuff very much. Now, I've gotten older. I like some of these things.
Give me them all.
But if
Mickey, Once Upon a Time, Christmas.
Hated it. I couldn't do it. He put it on the other day and I was like, what are we, 5? I can't watch this. I like more like wholesome Christmas.
You don't like Christmas as much as I thought you did.
No, I do. I just don't like what's cheesy. I can't. So how you don't like forced fun? I don't like forced cheesy Christmas
Who said it was
stuff.
forced?
I'm saying forced fun.
But who said it was forced?
What's forced?
You're saying you're already depicting
No. I said
Christmas.
You don't like forced fun. I said I don't like cheesy Christmas.
Okay, your Hallmark movies aren't cheesy?
Like some of those like Lifetime Christmas movies make me want to rip my hair out because they're just so bad.
Except for our friend Natasha's. That's fire.
Oh no, we support Natasha day and night.
Hers was actually good.
Did we watch it?
Yeah.
When did you watch it?
Last week.
Without me?
No, we watched it together. Cut that part out, Alejandra.
Disrespectful.
Alejandra, cut the part out where she says she doesn't like cheesy
No, I
Christmas
don't.
movies.
No, I'm allowed to say that.
Okay, you are?
I don't like cheesy stuff.
Okay.
That's my holiday hot take. I don't like anything that feels too cheesy. It has to feel real and wholesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I think everything is back to like, what did you grow up with?
It's true.
I feel like Christmas, as you become an adult, is just chasing nostalgia. Yeah. Chasing nostalgia.
The way he looked at me, yeah.
I feel like Christmas, as you become an adult, is just chasing nostalgia.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to relive it as a kid. And if you didn't grow up with a certain thing, of course, you're not going to like it that much.
Okay, what about some things that we love, like favorites in Christmas?
I mean, I love waking up at 8 a.m. and seeing the Christmas, tree, and you grab your coffee and you sit underneath. And, I love it's 8 p.m. It's cold outside. The wind chill's kind of hurting you. Your feet are tingling because they're so cold. And you get in the car and you turn on the radio and it's do you know what I know? A little lamb.
I don't think that's what he says, but we'll take it. I love Christmas pajamas.
I love Justin Bieber's
Wait, what do you think about families that all wear matching Christmas pajamas?
Bring it on, bro. It depends.
Like, I think I used to think that was really weird, but now I think I'm kind of about
bring it, dude.
I love Christmas pajamas, Christmas cookies, eggnog. I love wrapping presents.
I think
Christmas
presents.
shopping is fun if the lines aren't too long. We're also doing Vlogmas, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So go check out my YouTube channel, Jeanine. I'm going to pull up. I'm also posting a Bible challenge. So for the month of December, we're reading through the book of Luke, a chapter a day. So go follow my Instagram because we're reading that in there.
I got to figure, maybe for this last 15 minutes, we just sing Christmas carols.
No, I don't know about that.
It's like Elf.
So some things that we're doing for Christmas is, like I said, we're going to New York and Alaska, and there we'll go skiing and snowboarding. Kaleb has been skiing once, and he has a bad knee, so we're very curious to see how that's going to go. I snowboard now, but I freaking tore something last time I went, so I'm a little nervous. But I love everything. I love ice skating. I love bundling up. I love the snow. I love making snowmen. My husband is not present.
I'm trying to find the drummer boy.
Da 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 da.
Yeah, I'm the kids. Yeah, I'm a sweat. Yeah, I'm on the beat because the beat goes down, and I'm on the side for the playing for the son, playing for the king, playing for the title. I'm surprised you didn't hear this in the Bible. I'm so bad, Michael, stupid, love like Cupid. I'm the drummer boy, so do, little baby.
Okay, we're done singing on the podcast.
Okay,
we're done.
I got
singing
it out
on
of
the
my
podcast.
I got it out of my system.
What else are we doing? We're going to Texas OU Texas OSU this weekend.
Going to Oklahoma, the Big 12 championship.
Who do we think's going to win? Because like this is going up after the episode.
I think Oklahoma State's going to win.
Should we make a bet?
Yeah, let's make a bet.
What's the bet?
You have to know what I know. Okay. The bet is
you have to do all the laundry. He hates doing the laundry.
Before we went to bed last night, because we married and we go to bed together.
Yeah, we do.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I asked her, I was like, babe, I will do the dishes the rest of my life if I never have to do laundry. I hate it so much.
I will take that deal because I hate doing the dishes. Bet.
Yeah.
You just saw a live truce in front of your eyes.
Yeah, no, I'm completely down. I don't like emptying the dishwasher, but if you help with that a little bit, I'll like do them. So you really, is that true? Like,
no. I'm like, yeah, no, absolutely not. No shot.
That's so funny. Okay, to wrap this up, the last 10 minutes, how's marriage been? How are you? How's your heart? You want to tell them how you're doing?
I think I'm doing really good. I'm doing really well. I have been a little stressed. We've been busy. We've been busy. But I will say, as much as I loved our wedding, not planning a wedding anymore is a huge, huge stressor off my back. And I'm kind of glad I don't have to do that anymore because that was a lot. Yeah. So I'm kind of glad that wedding planning season is over. It's tough sometimes. Yeah. I think I'm doing very well. I'm just a little overwhelmed with the amount of stuff we have going on.
We got married in the perfect time though. Like the holiday season, it was so fun coming back from our honeymoon. You know, Thanksgiving was right there. Christmas is right here. I was built to be a husband in a lot of ways.
You were, babe.
Just was, man.
He's such a good husband too.
How?
You are very servant-hearted and you're very helpful and you just like, I don't know. Like, okay, we talked about this on my Instagram when like I was showing how you made the bed versus how I make the bed. And I literally told you one time, I was like, hey babe, this is how the pillows go. And like, I'll come back to my workouts and he makes the bed every day now and the bed looks good. Mm-hmm. Only a couple times I have to go back and fix it, but I just don't tell you.
It's the effort that counts.
It's such a good job though.
Oh,
but he's been so good at that. And
you know, I'm way more, and I know marriage should do this. I'm way more attracted to you.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard that happens.
Yeah. Like I love you a lot more now.
Oh, I love you.
In what ways do you want to grow together?
So we talked about this yesterday, actually. And we realized that I am more the reader of the Bible and he's more the like worshiper. And we want to find a better blend of him encouraging me to like sit in God's presence more and slow down and like worship versus, and then I want to encourage you to like read more. I think it'd be more diligent in that because we both like, we've known that, but when we were dating, that those were our strengths.
Yeah,
and he said to me the other day, he's like, hey, we're married now. Like, I want us to like have more worship in our home. And to me, I'm like, okay, you're the leader. Like, let's do it, bub. Lead that and I will follow. Mm-hmm. And I was really glad you brought that up.
Yeah. No, it takes two to tango in a lot of ways, but as a man, sometimes you just gotta, you see a need and you gotta fill it, you know, and you got to, you know, you gotta do it.
What are you most looking forward to in this next month?
I am so excited. So we're going to New York for our first Christmas together.
Let us know if you guys live there.
Yeah, if you live in New York City, maybe we can do like a meetup or something.
A little mini meet and greet.
I'm so excited for New York City. I used to live there when I was 19 years old. And so going back to that same area with you, being able to show you around, but also just to have our first Christmas just together, alone, just you and I. I'm starting to realize like marriage is like, it's really just you and me.
Yeah.
And we're building our family together and making memories. Like all we're doing right now is creating memories for our future selves. And so we'll be 40 years old and we'll be talking about this time when we're 40. Like you think about, and this is, I think this is a quote you could write down. You know, sometimes you gotta know that you're in the good old days. Like right now you're in the good old days.
It's true.
And you don't want to kick yourself 20 years down the road and think, man, I wish I would have known I was in the good old days when I was.
Well, what's so crazy is you'll never be this young ever again.
Yeah.
Like I'll never be 29 in how many days ever again.
For sure.
And so it's like, oh man, what can I do to appreciate this day or make the best of it? And like, of course, no one does this perfectly. Like some people are like, every day I'm so grateful. And I pay attention to all these things, and it's hard. Like you're in your grind, you're working out, you're just checking everything off the list. It's so easy to let time just fly by.
For sure.
But considering we're in a new month, like December for us, we're filming this Thursday. December 1st starts, I think, in tomorrow. Is that right? Or yeah, tomorrow, I think.
No way.
That's crazy. So it's like, okay, what can you do every day for your future self and for yourself to look back on this present moment to be like, I'm so proud of me. I'm so thankful that current, present Jeanine did that for future Jeanine or for Jeanine and Kaleb,
Yeah, and advice I would give is you still have 30 days the rest of the month. Like, let's finish strong. Don't, you've been working so hard, whether that be your gym goals and your fitness goals or your faith goals or this
finances.
Or that. Don't let these next 30 days ruin all your hard work that you built in 2023. You can lose all your progress in 1 month that you built for 11 months. It's so much quicker to lose progress.
So true.
Whether that's with faith, family, health, whatever. Finish strong. Like put whatever you need to put down that's causing you to struggle. And like really lean into we can go to the Christmas tree. You can go to Christmas music. You can go to movies and food and whatever to distract yourself as a little bit of a depressant. And
I think suppressant.
Yeah, like a suppressant. But man, let's finish this year strong. Let's get back to Jesus. Let's get back to being in prayer, taking our health seriously, and a lot, living happy and healthy.
Amen. That's such a good point. And we do want to do an episode kind of revolving around like how to finish the year strong and prepare for the next, and fitness goals. And like, obviously there's a lot of food around this time, or a lot of body image problems can kind of come up for some people, and insecurity. So we want to do an episode on that. But it really is so important. If you look at this month and you're like, okay, this is a month that is meant to be in remembrance of Jesus and who he was. How can we be intentional to slow down and really soak up what the meaning of Christmas is? Like, it's so much more than presents and the Christmas tree. Like, these are all such fun, amazing things, and we love them too. Like, we do all of them. But remembering, like, that's why I encourage you guys to do the Bible challenge, to really remember who Jesus is and what this month is about. And so we pray that you guys will slow down and be intentional and like really prepare your mind for entering into a new year. Like, who do you want to be next year? What qualities do you want to gain more that look more like Jesus in 2024? How can you start preparing for those now? And so I think that's a good thing to just remember.
And enjoy it, man. You only get so many Christmases. Enjoy it. Enjoy the festivities. Like, this is such an amazing season. Like, enjoy it.
Yeah. What's that verse? It's like, this is the day that the Lord has made. Be glad and rejoice in it.
Yeah.
Like, I think just really this whole season is about joy and rejoicing. It's like, how can we spread that joy, rejoice? And like, we should create a challenge, and like, we should do this ourselves, like of finding a way to really give back. Like, I remember seeing on Instagram today, this girl that I know, she is struggling with cancer. And I wanted to like almost like send her a package. I don't know her very well, but I was like, man, like I know there's people out there that have tougher situations. So like, how can we be the joy? How can we spread that joy? And so be intentional and try to find a way. And we'll be praying about who that is for us to just really bless somebody back in this season.
Text your spouse right now, or your boyfriend, your best friend, or your
parents,
mom, or your dad. And just be grateful for whoever's in your life that loves you. There's somebody in your life who cares about you.
Yeah.
And like find that and do it.
Anyway, we're going to close out, and we hope you guys enjoyed this first episode in our Christmas at the Words.
Christmas at the Words. The next 3 will probably be more talking about a specific topic.
But this that was just a little introduction.
Intro. We got our Vlogmas. It is started by now.
Go check it out.
Go check it out. And
it's tough, y'all, to upload daily. So give us some support because it's tough.
Yeah.
But we love it, and we're documenting.
It's really all we ever wanted.
All we ever wanted.
So a lot of people have been asking, what does all we ever wanted mean? And
Literally?
so you OG people know what that means. It's an inside joke.
It's an inside joke. What
So,
episode do they have to go back to?
I think it was the first episode.
I think it was like when I was like,
It was our first episode.
No, I think it was our engagement episode. I think it came out of that episode.
Yeah.
Because you were a little more comfortable that episode.
I think you're probably right.
Anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed this holiday episode with us.
And
this Christmas episode.
My holiday honey.
You're my holiday hottie.
My holiday
and this is
honey.
my number one hot take. Keep Christ in Christmas.
Come on.
Can I get an amen?
Come on, man.
Thank you.
And, you know, I know Jeanine is a little bit of a Scrooge. She doesn't like
What?
Christmas movies and
That's not true. I do.
classic, Mickey Mouse Christmas. And
I'm not a big Mickey Mouse girl.
just know that I on behalf of my wife, I just want to look into the camera and say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that her words have a deep meaning and a deep effect on people like me and you.
Stop.
Who love Christmas movies that are cheesy. And for every one of those, maybe you're a person out there who's made a Hallmark movie and you've acted in one.
You talking to Natasha?
We apologize to you because I love them and I think they are important to society. And, it's something that we should look deeper into our marriage and think about, a lot of things that we're dealing with. And
Okay, stop. Stop. Okay, just to clarify, I do like Christmas movies and music. I just don't like some of it. I'm allowed to.
Okay, red lipstick.
I'm going to go eat some chili and drink some eggnog. We love you guys. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Happy and Healthy. We'll be back again next Tuesday for another episode. But until then,
another episode of Christmas at the Wards. It's all we really ever wanted.
Stay happy and healthy.
And blessed.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
Cheers.